Okay, hello everybody. So now formally, it's Nick here. I hope you can all hear me and you can see my chart. I think it's time to start, right? People are still logging in, but it's okay. Again, it's all recorded, so no worries. I'm really excited about this one today, and I'm happy to see so many new names here, new people here. A very, a very big list of also older names, people I already know, I would say not older, and a lot of new names. So really great stuff. My first question to you, I don't want to hold you up. How is everybody feeling today? Ready to learn something? Okay, feeling great, very good. Okay, perfect. There we go. Awesome. That's it. Nachmittag. Okay, I have people speaking German here and English and all kind of other languages. So we, like always, I can do German, Greek, and a little bit of English, but that's about it. So again, ja, guten Abend an alle Leute, an alle Deutschsprachigen. Kalisperasas in Greek, and again, good evening, because it's, at least in my place here, it's evening. There we go, ausgezeichnet, there we go. Okay, let's start, guys. I'm really excited. I want to say it again. And my first question, again, my second question actually, is anybody new to trading? Anybody really new? Yes, new to Forex. Yes, 1 year. Okay, Santosh, Bill, me. Okay, that's good. Don't worry about that. 1 month, yeah, it's really new. It's really green, which is good. 8 months, okay, so some experience already. There we go. So who's around for, let's say, longer than a year in trading? I'm just asking. It's not a trick question or something. I just want to know. 2 years on and off. Okay. Great. So it's really mixed since 2005. Jimbo says 2 years, 3 years. Raju. Sorry if I say it correctly. There we go. Okay. So we all know that trading is partly technical, and it's actually a lot of, unfortunately, brain work. And if we dig deep, we'll figure out that it's nothing to do really with the brain. It's emotions, it's the heart, it's the feelings. And that's the part where people just struggle. They cannot connect the technical part or the skills, the technical skills, to the emotional part, to say it to kind of simple. Okay, do you agree with that? Who does agree? It's kind of a mind game, but it's actually an emotional game. It's feeling, it's heart, and then it's just a domino effect. All the bad stuff happens afterwards. Agree? Okay, there we go. Very important that we all agree. At least most of us. Du sagst es. There we go. Big money game. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Great stuff. I just want, because, I don't know most of you today. Just want to know you a little bit of your background. It's okay. Great. So we start immediately. I don't want to make it hard for you, so we start immediately. You look at this chart. Can everybody see this chart and my mouse moving? Great. So it's the last time you're going to see it for the next 15 minutes. Sorry about that. That's it. That's how we start. So the Power of Renko 2.0. welcome to this again. I read that to you. Profits in trading are easy if you keep it simple. I taught my 10-year-old son how to trade with Renko charts in less than 20 minutes. So I'm sure you can all keep up. Yeah, as well. Why do I say this? What we always try is, sorry, I forgot. Man, I forgot. Dr. Jeff Wild, my partner, is also here with us. He will continue afterwards. Sorry, Jeff, say hi, please, or type hi. Some people probably don't know you yet. Most of you do, for sure. Jeff is also around here, and he will continue afterwards. So, the reason I start with this is because every time we do something, an event, an online course, a new workshop, an intro course like this one here today, it's because we try to find ways to make your trading, your future trading, easier and simple. Okay? And unless I test something and I do it myself, and it's not really working out for whatever reason, we would never do a course or an online webinar or something if we're not 100% sure that what we do is actually working. So this time I wanted to do a little bit different, because when I do something and I test something and it's really all based on the Spartan system, on the Spartan trader system, okay, when I do it, it's kind of unfair really to you. Because when you are trading as long as I'm doing it right now, I started in 1999, which is now what, 17 years, 18 years almost. Oh man, time is really passing fast. Then you have a lot of experience and you went through everything, really everything. And when I test something, I know already the traps behind it, the good parts, the bad parts, and I can take something, transform it into something, let's say, easy, and then create or not create a system, just like tweak a system a little bit differently so it works for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean it works for everybody, because I asked you before, who is experienced, who is new, right? So if somebody just started a couple of weeks ago and I would give you something that I'm good at after trading 18 years, it's probably not that simple or easy for you anymore. Does that make any sense? Guys? Okay, so it has to be simple. And that's why I did this. I called my son last week, and after figuring this out, I said, okay, I know it works, it's simple, let's try him. And I said, his name is Orpheus. I said, Orpheus, please sit down. We trade together. He was all excited. And I said, if you do what I tell you exactly, you get in here, you place your stop there, and this is your target. And when the price goes to this target, you close that by clicking on this button. Then you understand at least the basics. Can you do this? You have to wait for the candles to do this and that. I gave him all the details, so it took me like 20 minutes. We got lucky because there was a little bit of volatility. Price actually triggered a signal. He went in. It made about 70 pips with a split position. We did it on micro lots, not on a demo account, on a micro lot account, and he made about $20. Okay? Now, his question was, if I do this, what is in for me? Okay? He might be young, but not stupid, right? I said, listen, if you follow those simple rules, you get in where you have to and you get out at the right spot. He wanted those little football cards. I don't know if you, anybody of you has kids, those football cards where you actually exchange with other, kids, the stuff probably. Yeah, something like that. So he said, I want a package of those. I think it cost like $4 or something. I said, yes. You get in here, you get out there, you follow the rules, you get it. What about if it doesn't work out? If it doesn't work out, you have a protection stop, right? And what we call account protection order. Everybody else calls it like stop loss, which is a bad word, but we get to this later. If it hits that, you still get the cards because you followed the rules. Okay? So nothing for him to lose. Price went down, and it took about, I think, less than half an hour because it was really volatile at that point. Price hit the target, and I was just watching him. Okay, and he was really, really relaxed. I'll show you a picture later on. Why? Any ideas? First of all, he's a kid, and he had a goal. His goal was, let the price go down, hit my target, then I get my cards. Nothing else. Not what about if I lose, if he lost, okay, he would still get the cards, right? What about, if I do something else, or I click somewhere else? He didn't even think about that, because if he would do it, he wouldn't get the cards. His focus was simply on the goal. It either hits the target, so I have to sit here and wait, or it will go against me, hit the stop. Okay, then it's over, and I do what Daddy says afterwards. Okay, simple and focused. No other thoughts, not about money issues, what happens tomorrow. Kids are really, really good at this stuff. They focus on something, and that's what they're after, and there's nothing in between. And I really, really like that. And when I saw him doing this, and he could really do it like this, okay, I said, okay, if he can do it like this, simple, 10-year-old, everybody else should be able to follow. Okay? Yeah, probably. Okay, let me go to the next part. I make it, again, as I said, easy for you. So, for the guys that have no clue what Renko bars are, especially when you're new, the Renko bars or boxes are calculated in pips on the chart, not in time value. Let me explain. Most of you probably know, but again, this is a classic chart. Candlesticks, right? Nothing else, no indicators, just candlesticks. So we have like green ones and white ones. You cannot really see the white because the background is black and the green and white kind of, but you get the point, right? Long candles and short candles and spikes and ranges, and then it goes down again. It looks like this. So here, it's the same chart, but here we use, those are Renko charts. Okay? So, Renko charts work a little bit different. And for the guys that don't know, let me go to the next one for you. This is a classic daily chart for February 7th. So daily chart means, usually we use time frames, right? So a daily chart would mean one candle, one full day. Correct? Am I too fast? Is everybody keeping up so far? Okay. So if we open your normal charts, we do it later on the charts anyway, yeah? A daily chart means each candle one day. If you would go to the 4-hourly chart, one candle, 4 hours. And after 4 hours, they will open a new candle. Correct? Now, Renko charts don't work like this. This here again is the same day, February 7th, But here we have Renko chart boxes with 6 pips per box as a setting. That means it doesn't matter how long it takes for the price to go down. This is 90 pips the whole day. You see down here. And again, you see that on the Renko chart. This is again 90 pips. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. Okay. If price moves within a day 90 pips, okay, you will see each 6 pips a new candle in one direction. So if price is moving from here 90 pips down, divided by 6, that's the amount of candles you're getting. Okay, it doesn't matter if that takes the whole day or 10 minutes. So if price goes down in 10 minutes from here to here 90 pips, you will not see one candle moving lower from here to here. You will see a lot of 6 pips candles going down to here. Because every 6 pips per box, it would move. Like if price is going in one direction, 6 pips and another 6 pips, you get the second box. If it moves down another 6 pips without any retracements, it will go down another 6 pips. When price decides to retrace and go back up, okay, then you will get a green candle, for instance, if you choose the color green, 6 pips. Only if it moves 6 pips, you get a new box. If it doesn't move 6 pips, you won't get anything. So it doesn't matter. There is no time frame exactly. It has nothing to do with time. It could be if you had, let's say, this is a 1 hourly candle now. And in 1 hour, price decides to move down 90 pips. And then after this hour, what would happen on a 1 hourly chart after 90 pips move and after this hour? What would happen after 1 hour on a 1 hourly chart, guys? What would happen? You get a new candle. And this candle, doesn't matter how much it will move up or down, it will only close after an hour. So if this is moving down 90 pips in an hour, you see in one candle 90 pips. Renko charts would move 90 pips during this hour, but not one candle. You get every 6 candles a new box. Okay? If you set your Renko charts to 6 pips per box, you can actually set it the way you like. We get to this later on. Exactly. Yeah. So candlesticks, as Klaus says, is here are time-based, means 1 hour 90 pips move, for instance. You see all the 90 pips in one candle. Okay? And because the Renko bars are price-based, if price decides to move down 90 pips in 1 hour, you won't get one candle, but you get a lot of them. Okay, now if we set, just an example, just for fun, we wouldn't do it, but if we set the Renko charts to 45 pips per box, how many boxes would appear from here to here, from 0 to 90? Guys, just to test you a little bit, it's just 2, right? So I'm going to explain it again on the live chart. I just want to go over this quickly before we get into everything, okay? So why should I trade Renko bars? That's the question. Why should anybody just go and trade Renko bars instead of anything else? Now, I'm not saying you only have to trade Renko bars. The Spartan system, the basic Spartan system is based on price action, and we use Heikin-Ashi candles, for instance, right? Renko bars is just another technique. And for some people, it's easier sometimes to start with, I don't know what, classic candles, Heikin-Ashi candles or whatever. And for some people it's great to start, for instance, with Renko bars. Why is that? Mainly because Renko bars are filtering out the noise on the charts, which means no confusion anymore when it comes to direction and ranges. Again, what does that mean? If you have a range, do we all know what a range is on the chart? We do, right? Exactly. I go back to my charts here, normal charts I put on, look at this. Let me just go to a small time frame just for fun. Now, what is this? Just testing people here. Forget about what you see on the chart. Look just at the price going up and down. Do we have a trend, or what is this? That's a range, right? Because price is moving between two levels, up and down and up and down and up and down, touching those areas and then going up and down. For whatever reason, we don't really care. We just need to identify it. Okay, so if that 15 pips move here, let's say this 15 pips move started yesterday morning and it took almost the whole day. So you get on a 15-minute chart a lot of candles every 15-minute one. If you were to set your candles on Renko bars to 15 pips, how much candles, look, the whole range is like 15 pips. How much candles would you get from 8 in the morning to the next 8? One or two. Okay, let's say it moves down quickly. Okay, exactly. Maybe 1 or 2 if it spikes around another 10-15 pips. That means you don't see this stuff happening. Therefore, it's removing what we call noise on the chart, especially when we trade on low time frames, or we like intraday or scalping strategies. Okay, it just skips it, as you say, Dale. Yeah, it's skipping it. It's filtering out the whole noise. Okay, and that really helps sometimes, especially with the psychology. People get nervous, really nervous, when the market is going up and down and up and down. What happens? You cannot focus, and if you cannot focus, you don't see things clearly on your chart anymore, which is a problem when it comes to trading, because what is our result? What do we want when we trade? Yeah, we all want to make what? In the end, we want to win, we want to make money, so we can follow, we can actually follow our goals and make our dreams come true, right? So we need the profits, long-term profits, not on each trade, but all in all, we want to make more than we give back to the market. And if you're not focused and you cannot concentrate on clean setups, it's very difficult to make profits long-term, because you get always caught in bad habits, old bad habits, right? Good stuff. So, can I continue? If I'm too fast, you just tell me. People are still trying to log in. The thing is, we only have 100 seats, and it's all full. But again, it's all recorded. So, yeah, okay. Okay, no problem. Again, you can watch the recording later on. Great. No confusion anymore. We can put it really simple in one sentence. Yeah, to not overanalyze things. Let me explain the details of no confusion anymore, right? Trading setups are easy to spot. If we see any typos in here, don't worry, guys. I did that, kind of last minute, just to make sure we have it also on paper. Why are they easy to spot? When you have a system, the system has rules. Entry rules, exit rules, money management rules, and all kind of other little really important rules. Okay, your own rules actually to protect you from doing too many stupid, in parentheses, things. Okay, you want to do mistakes because you learn from those, but you want to keep it in a way that you can manage your account and don't destroy your account. Especially, I'm now talking to the new guys that are really new. Doesn't matter what I say right now. If you don't have the experience, you will probably not listen to me anyway, but at least you try to forget. Trading or trading with real money can be really funny, which rhymes, by the way, right? You will figure out that when you trade really, who you really are. Because all the emotions hidden deep inside that you often try to forget or just to, to kind of really hide, they will come out. They will get out of your system. And especially when you start losing some trades and you're not really sure what's going on and you don't have a clue about money management and what the markets do and how they work, and you cannot feel what's going on because you don't have the experience, you start doing all kind of funny things and you start losing not only money but also confidence, and you're losing, how can I say, the passion for trading. And the passion for trading is what you want to keep. Because when you do it right, it can be really, really, really profitable. Okay? But what happens, you start out wrong. You adopt the wrong habits, and those habits stay. And no matter what you learn, if you don't know how to manage the old habits, not get over them, but remember them actually, so you don't do the same mistakes again, because there are many you can do. Okay? You want to remember so you get better and improve. And if you're something easy that is pointing out on the chart, it's also easier to to guide your emotions, because controlling is crap. It doesn't work like this. Okay? Guide your emotions. The emotions will help you to make profits. It's not that way. Many people say you have to trade cold. You have to not even think about it. You have to be, like a robot. This is completely stupid. It's only theory. Things don't work like that. Yeah, you can take my word for this. You have to trust me on this one. It doesn't work like this. So you have to adopt good habits, easy on the chart, and do it again and again and again to sustain and keep confidence. Okay so far? If I start talking about this stuff, I never stop, so you have to stop me actually. Okay? Okay, great. So, trading setups are easy to spot. So when you spot this easy, it helps with the mental part later on, because you know what you have to do. Okay? So entry, target, and protection orders are easier to place. Yeah, for sure. If you know where to get in, if you have rules to get where to get out, so the target, where to place your count protection order, your stop loss. Okay? If you see that clearly on the chart, then it's so easy to do it, right? It's very, very easy. Your charts appear clean and clear, what I just said. If that is there, this is really easy. Okay? You make trading decisions without hesitation. Again, if you see it clean and clear and you have the rules, and you don't see the spikes and ranges all over the place, it makes it much easier for your eyes and for your mind and for your soul to make the decision and take the trade. Okay? And therefore you trade relaxed and with more confidence. It all kind of gets together. It's all related, one with the other. And if that is good, and you trade relaxed and with more confidence, you can also follow your own rules, the trading rules, easier. Yeah, who does not have the experience where you say, okay, I have a system now. Here's my entry. The system says to go in here. Here's my stop. I get out there. It works for the time being, maybe a couple of days. Then the market is changing behavior. Okay? And suddenly you get kicked out once or twice because you don't really see what's going on in the market. And you say, oh man, the thing doesn't work anymore. The system doesn't work. It was all crap. Or I cannot do it. I'm really feeling like I'm stupid or something like that. Who does not have the experience where you think you just can't do it for whatever reason and you don't really know why? Who does have this or had it before? Nobody? I don't believe you. Of course, right? You don't have to be ashamed of that. No way. You cannot go, you cannot be successful without having the experience, without having experienced something like that. No way. Yeah. And then what we do, it gets better. We say, okay, let's quickly do something else. There was also this other system I saw last week somewhere. So let's try this. Or you don't even think about another system. You just reverse your position because the system said short and you lost 2 times. Now you want to make it back. You get into revenge trading. And now you take the opposite direction and suddenly it's turning again against you. Boom. And then you're really pissed. And what happens? Most traders, they just stop doing it. They just close their accounts or they just, it's not for me. And it's really a shame because people that want to trade, people that really want to make it, they have this little spark inside. They try something different. And trading is really something different. Okay, here we go. Marek says I lost 1,000 pounds in a week. Yeah. Hey guys, I lost in a day, back then I lost the first day, it was a lot of money back then in 1999. I lost like 3,000 or 4,000 in a day and it was a lot of money. I didn't have much money back then really. And I lost all in all, that year when I started about 15,000, back then also stocks, and there was all the money I had. All the money I had. Okay? But it's a different story. Now, exactly, there we go. Jürgen said it. Revenge trading, doubling positions. There we go. And we don't really think about what we have to do to change it. We have this little spark inside that says, I do something different. I don't go with a flow, with what everybody does. Some people just want to trade to make some extra money. Some want just to get rid of their job. They cannot handle it anymore for whatever reason. They said, oh man, I want to trade. They feel that they need something different and they get into trading and there's this again, this spark, this light, in the dark soul somewhere hidden, right? And what happens? You get this experience and the spark dies. Because most people just say, oh no, I thought I had it, but it's not for me. And they continue with whatever they do. And I'll tell you, when you get, those are all messages. When you get this spark, okay, when you get this message that you really want to do something, my advice is continue trying. Don't give up, guys. Yeah, it's really not that difficult. It really is not. When you get into good habits and you can keep them for long, it's a little bit like a diet. Who likes to do a diet? Nobody likes to do that, right? Because diets are not really working. So it's the same. You don't want a diet. You just want to, eat a little bit less of this, or don't eat at night, or if you cannot handle this food, just don't eat it, or eat less of it. Things like that. That's how you do it with trading. You get rid of the bad stuff step by step and you keep the good. Okay? And what happens, I didn't even realize at some point when I was making money. I started after I lost everything again with $500 and then ending up making 38,000 something, which in 6 months, but I have to be fair. I did risk much more than I should have. Okay, so I did a lot of mistakes back then. And the markets were really, really volatile, so you could actually trade all day long, which can also backfire, by the way. You know, it's not the way you want to trade all day long, but I'm just telling you what I had to do to actually learn the hard way. And you can really save a lot of time and money if you start investing in yourself. Okay, and not just blindly get in and trade and do whatever and then buying another system and or trying it yourself for 2 days and then changing it again and changing it again. It will never work like this. So you have to keep the spark, and if you lose, and I just asked you what happened to your what happened to you, and some guys said here I lost 1,000 in a week. I lost 4,700 in 1 week, Mehmet says. Okay, so how does that feel? No, it feels like shit, right? Sorry, pardon my French. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're a loser. You cannot do it really. Okay? But when you start relaxing and you think about what you really did, you figure out that what you did had nothing to do with real trading. It was gambling and it was revenge trading. You wanted to make it back and double the position and triple the position. But guess what? The chart and the market, especially the forex market, which is huge, doesn't care what you want. It's something I always say. The markets don't care what you want or what I want. They will do whatever they have to do. They go wherever they have to go, and they don't even know that you exist. So the revenge for what? Yeah, you only harm yourself. And then what happens? You just want to feel better, and what people do, they just stop and try to forget and don't touch it anymore and do something else. But this is the most important part. If you had the passion for trading, you have to go back and actually look at what you did wrong. And when you figure, if you look really deep, you'll see it's usually your fault. 100% it's your fault. And it has not necessarily to do with any system, even though some systems that are out there are not really systems, but whatever, that's a different story. Yeah. Now, if you identify the problem, rather than just running away from it, try to fix it. Because this will make you feel better. This will give you the results. So what did I do wrong? I did revenge trading. Okay, don't do it again. I did this. I risked too much. Okay, don't do it again. Learn first how things work. How does the markets move? How do I identify setups on the chart? Why do things happen? Start feeling and understanding the markets rather than just blindly going in and out, trying some, whatever it is. Okay? So if you have the spark, try to keep it. If you need to take a break, often traders need to take breaks. Yeah, it can be very exhausting if you don't know what to do or what you are doing. If you don't know what you are doing in trading, it's very exhausting because you never really know what's going on. So, okay, what you do, you take a break, 2-3 days, 1 week, 1 month, then come back with a clear, clean mind and start again. But this time, remember what you have to do. I will show you anyway, but okay, I'm already too fast. So, where were we here? Relax trading. Okay, follow your trading rules easier. There we go. And then, with what I said before, you can actually enjoy your trading. And you can really focus on the long-term success. Plus much, much more. Yeah? What I just said was a lot, not easy to digest, but can you all keep up? Was I too fast? I hope nobody fall asleep yet. Okay, good. Okay. Now, all that stuff, very important. Not for a 10-year-old. That's my son, by the way. I took a picture of this when he was focusing on price going down. I put him on this Renko charts, right? So he took an entry, and when it reached the target down here, you can probably not see it on this chart, but I just wanted to take a picture. Hit the target, right? And what did he do? He didn't think about what next, what tomorrow. He just turned around and looked at me and he said, "Do I get my football cards now?" Goal achieved. Yeah, and I was really laughing. I said, "Oh, great, yeah." That's it. So sometimes we really have to be simple. And when it's about trading, we have to be, we shouldn't overanalyze things. Yeah, exactly like playing a game. And really, it really is one. If you have the money management rules in place, okay, and everything. So that's the next thing. The Spartan Renko 2.0 basics. So what are we going to do today? How to set up your Renkos on the charts. Now, if you decide on when you want to go with a program that starts in March, like in 2 weeks from now, more or less, I think it's a little bit less, okay? We will give you a software you don't have to purchase, to buy, which is really working great on charts, on MetaTrader. Most free Renko software, unless you really find a good one, makes your charts moving really slowly. If you have a Renko chart or a software on your charts, on your MT4, and you open 2 or 3 pairs, what happens suddenly? It's moving so slow, the charts wouldn't move anymore. You cannot place trades anymore. It's really, really difficult to trade if you don't have a good, powerful software. So this software we actually purchase for you. We actually buy it. It's not our own. We buy it from a guy that gives us a really good deal, and you get it from us, so you don't have to buy this separately. Okay, I think the cost of it is like $50 for 3 licenses or something, or 3 or 2, I'm not sure. So you get a license from us. There's no cost. It is in the whole thing. Okay. The basic strategy to start practicing. So today I give you the basic strategy so you can start thinking about it. You shouldn't start trading it because there's more to it than just a few basic things, right? That's why we do it together. Remember, it's a 5-day course, and we do 3 days of live trading together. We take the trades together. Okay, it's not just looking at it. We'll do it together, and I'll teach you the stuff. And while we are waiting for setups, or the other way around, while we are waiting for setups to trade, I'll teach you stuff. Okay. Now, the mental part of trading, 90-10, 10-90 method. I have to explain to you how this works today. Okay. Risk calculation and automated trade or trading. Now, we created a software that you will also get for free, and we had somebody made that for me. So for us, so we actually paid for this, but it's, again, you get this for free. This calculates everything for you. The risk in percentage you set, the lot size you have to trade. It will even open the positions for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to write anything, to type anything. You just tell your chart, you just click on your chart and tell it if you want to buy or sell, and it will automatically do it for you. So when that happens, if you have a risk calculation or calculator, an indicator that does that for you, okay, and you can follow the money management rules and everything, and you don't have to think about, oh, there's a setup, what do I have to trade, how big must the lot size be, what should I do here? So if you don't have to think about all that because it's all set already, you can really focus on your trading. Does that make sense? Guys, right? Okay, great. And then when you have this and you have your Renko charts running, you can use this not only for Renko charts, you can use the indicators for everything. Now it will even fire signals. Like, you can set it this way, that after knowing how the basic system works, what it does, it will send you an alert before the actual signal appears. And when it's appearing, you can set it that way that you get another signal. It will either ping on your MetaTrader, or you get it as an email, or you can forward it to your cell phone, your smartphone. Okay? The only thing you then have to do is open your charts and check if you like the signal. And if you know the system and you like the signal, then you can trade. Okay, it's set right now for MT4. When MT5 is ready, we'll do the same thing for MT5, of course. Yeah, so it's MT4 right now. It will be updated, so no worries. Now, some of our old members, because it's not the first time we do Renko bar trading in the Spartan Trader Academy, right? We are all different, you know that. Yeah, we are all different. We might want to use the same system, but we're different people. We react and act differently. We're living in different time zones, different mentalities, different mindsets. So we can all take the same system, but we all have different results, even after understanding, feeling, and knowing it. Okay? Because of all what I just said. Right? Some members took the previous Spartan Renko system, which is not really that different from what we are going to do, because everything is based on the Spartan system. That's the way I trade. I cannot change this, because I just understood what the markets do, and I can only act on those things. And that's why the system doesn't really change. Just the way you look at it and the way you treat it can be different. Yeah. And those members tweaked it a little bit, and some more conservative and some more aggressive to their needs. Okay? So somebody changed a few things, but keeping the core system and adding a few things to it just to make them feel better. And there's nothing wrong about this. Nothing. If somebody feels good about it, about a change, as long as he or she makes profits, I cannot say anything against it. Yeah? If you make profits, you make profits. Okay? So those guys did share those strategies with me, and I'm going to share those with you, which is an extra free thing you will get on the full program, which starts in 2 weeks, right? I will also show you a little bit about. I will show you how the setup is on the charts today. If we have enough time, I'll show you this. Yeah, and this is already a lot today. This is already a lot. Let me just go. This is the guy, actually. This is Tim. So Tim, now I never knew how his name really, who is Italian or I don't know what this is. Is it Blanardo or Blanardo or whatever? Blenardo, I don't know. Who is Italian here, guys? So how Tim Blanardo made 16,000, well, like 2 years ago, or less than 2 years, on his $980 live account in 60 days with low money management using. So simply using the Renko strategy, but adding his own little tweak to it. So his chart, you cannot see it here, I will show you later on. I'm Italian, so does it mean anything? Blanardo, or is it not Italian? I think the guy Tim was Italian, but living in Australia. So what he did, he tweaked the system a little bit, and he's filtering out a lot of actual good trades, which I would trade, but he doesn't touch them. He only goes for the ones that really look good to him and ignores everything else. Okay? And some setups I would never touch, he would trade. Yeah, it probably doesn't make any sense to you right now, but I'll show you. The thing is just knowing what to look for and then actually really waiting for the price to do what you are waiting for. And if the setup appears and you take that trade according to your rules, you can have a 90% winning strategy. Okay? Now, you don't need 90%, just to make this clear. You can make profits with 50%. I'm just telling you what some of those guys have achieved and feel good about. And I will show you this. Okay? So, now that I explained everything, probably a lot to digest, do you want to take a 5-minute break before we start on the chart? Or do you want me to continue immediately because we're sitting here already 50 minutes? Almost an hour. You want a small break, guys? Or continue? Okay. Continue. Okay. I can continue, no problem. Somebody says break, continue. Okay, we start with something and then we take a break, okay? Okay, guys, 5-minute break. Okay, for everybody, 5-minute break. We just take a 5-minute break. So guys, can we continue? Okay, great. Perfect. So we were here, and now we're going to here. Let's do it, right? Now that's my other little kid. He said like, after he saw the big one, he said, I also want to do it, but he's only 4, so let him in on a live account, even if it's only a small one, was not probably not the smartest thing to do. So 4 is probably too early. Right? Okay, yeah. So great, thanks. Yeah, I just took the picture just for fun. I just liked it. Okay, here we go. What we want to do first, we want to set up the Renko charts. Okay, so what happens? I'm not sure, Jeff, do we already have, for the guys that already got into the full course in March, do we already have the licenses? Or can we get those to them to start, practicing, just to put them in to see? I'm just asking, so just 1 second, guys. Because I saw some people ask, so it would be great to have the... just have all at one time. But it doesn't really matter, guys. I'm just showing you how powerful and easy it is to use. So we'll do it together. We have enough time. Remember, it's a 5 days workshop. And we will spend 2 days just for the technical stuff and the system details before we trade the 3 days live. Yeah, so it's all recorded. So even if you miss it, you can watch the recordings like this one. Yeah. Okay, guys. Here we go. This, what you see here, is just a classic 15-minute chart, and what is on here is just a Spartan classic template. You don't need this at all right now. You don't even have to know what it is and how it looks. It doesn't really matter. Just give me whatever pair. Give me 1 pair, just to set this up for you. Whatever it is, guys. It doesn't really matter. GBP, JPY, okay. Sorry. We can, why not? So this is a classic MT4 chart, okay. So how that works, how will it work? It's very simple. We just go to our navigator, and here's are the Renko bar charts. Okay, so you drag and drop that in here. You just simply I'll do it again, take it from here and drag it onto your charts. Okay, when you do this, what you have to type in here is the size in points, not in pips. So you need another 0. And for intraday and swing trading, we would use 6 pips per box, which means I have to type here 6 and 0, 60. It's the points. Okay, and then here, to be able to see this on your chart, you have to change this and actually put an M like this, M4 and M15 and M6. But what you do here, you type in M6 because it's 6 pips per box. Okay, then you click on OK, and what happens down here, you see it says Renko 60. Okay, that's because we set it like this. And when you click on M6, this is the actual Renko chart. If you click on this one, it will open next to your chart the Renko chart. Now, this is a classic Renko chart, but we want a very simple template that I will use for you, and this is the Renko 2017. It will look like this. I explained to you what else we have here. Just let me clean this up for you first. Okay, so what you have here now is a Renko chart, 3 EMA settings, and that's it. Okay, the difference here on this Renko bars, we have spikes. When we purchase the Renko charts from this company here, you can actually choose if you want the spikes on the charts or if you want only the boxes. Now we want the spikes as well, because those are helping us to identify the signals on the chart. Okay? Am I too fast? Don't try to set anything up or to, just look at my chart. I'm just explaining what we're going to do. Okay? Okay, I will repeat. Just 1 second. Okay? Now, first of all, you want to go to classic chart. You pick your first chart. Then you will have, because this is an indicator, you will have the Renko indicator after we give that to you. You just copy and paste this one into your indicator folder. How that works, very simple. You go to File, right? We do this together live, so you don't have to worry about it now. Open the data folder, okay, and then MQL4, and you just copy and paste it into your indicator folder. Okay? The same goes for the templates and everything else. It's very simple. We do it together. Don't worry about it. So at that point, you will see it here. And then you just, this is MT4, right? MetaTrader4 is a free software you can download. You just Google it, MetaTrader4, and you can download it for free everywhere. You can open a demo account on whatever broker. Like I use a broker for the demo account, which is called IC Markets. The reason I use this one is because I have an unlimited, in time unlimited account I can use for my charting. but you can use whatever. MT4, just download it, and then what you do, I will show you this stuff. Yeah, we don't have to do it right now. And then you have it here. You just again drag it from here and drop it into your chart. You change those numbers according to the box size you want. Like for Renko's, for, as I said, day and swing trading, we want 6 pips per box. So we type in 60. You need another 0. And below you just type in M6, so you identify that this here is the chart with a 6 pips per box. And then you click on OK, and then this will come up here, and you will see Renko M6. And if you click on it, it will bring you to your Renko chart. Okay? Everybody okay so far? Now, if you use a different software that you like, that gives you Renko charts that are already working, and you don't want to use MetaTrader, I don't mind. It's okay. We just go with this version because it's free for everybody. You can download MetaTrader everywhere. It doesn't cost anything, and you can then just later on add the Renko bars to it. And again, we are going to do it together, no worries. Okay? Now then you have a chart looking like this. And one more thing we are going to add to this, and this is the technical thing. Again, this is our risk calculator, which is also an indicator. Okay, same here. What we do, we take it from here and we just drag and drop it into this thing. What this does, you don't have to remember, see all those things. What is important for us is the risk. How much do we want to risk per trade? Okay. The positions, how many positions we want to split this trade on. Like if I risk 0.5, which is 0.5% for my whole account, and I want to open multiple positions, which is part of the strategy, okay, from 1 up to 3, this thing will calculate those positions and split the positions between the risk. Like if it's 0.5% risk, it's 0.5% risk for all 3 positions combined, for instance. Okay? I will explain that, so we don't have to get into much detail here. And then you click on OK, and suddenly you have something like this on your chart. This is most helpful because what it does, can you see the charts, everybody? Yes, right? What it really does, it is showing you the risk you set for each trade you're taking, okay? It's showing you the average weekly, monthly, and daily move in pips. It is telling you, showing you your stop and targets, like this is your account protection order, which, you know, your stop loss. And it will show you the positions depending if you take 1, 2, or 3, and also the lot size. Like I give you an example for the people that are really new to this. If I wanted to trade, let's say, long here, and I place my stop below here. Okay, now what the thing does, I told him already to calculate 3 positions. Okay, what this indicator does, it's splitting. You can see the positions already. It says, okay, if you were to trade 1 position with an entry and a stop here, it doesn't matter how big the stop is, it will risk 0.5% of my account. So what it will do, if I trade 1 position, it will trade 0.77 lots. If I trade 2, it would trade 0.39. If I trade 3, it would do 0.26. So it knows how to split immediately and not expose the account to more than 0.5% on the whole amount of money that's in there. Does it make sense so far? Okay, simple but very, very, very useful. Now, I can show you that right now. We don't have any signals here, by the way. Let's assume we had a signal and you want to trade, you want to buy. That means you have to take this line here, this green line, and place it always over price. The price is right now here. So if you want to buy, of course, you're always placing it over here. It doesn't matter if it's an instant order or pending order. You know, if it's over price or close to price but above it, it will automatically buy. Now, if I place this below here and I take my stop above here, it knows, okay, I'm now below price, so I'm selling. And you see it automatically moves also the targets. Okay, I'll explain this stuff, but it's very, very easy. It's not complicated at all. It's so easy because this will help you stop typing all the time. What do we do? Let's say you want to trade right now. I'm just giving you an example. Price is up here. My stop is down here. It doesn't matter where the stop is. Right now I'm not explaining you any systems. I'm just showing you how this thing works. Okay? If I want to trade right now and I want to open 3 positions and I want to risk 0.5%, I place it just close to price, and I have a script. You will get the script as well. It's another folder where those things go in. You would just go here and say, okay, instant order, which means if I click this, this will open a position immediately. It will buy. Here's my stop. Okay, you can see it opened the 3 positions. You don't have to type anything. You don't have to go to you know, your thing and click on buy or do your right click and trading and sell or buy or whatever, and then type in stop and target and all this stuff. You don't do it. The only thing you have to do is actually just drag your stop to the right place according to the system rules, right? And then it will do everything else for you. The only thing you need to add is the risk management and how many positions we are trading. Now we start trading, of course, with 1 position, and when we get good at this, I tell you about the rest. Okay, and of course we don't need those positions right now, so we close this stuff. Now, if part of the strategies is also to trade pending orders. Yeah, let's say we have a setup, but we actually want to trade the setup when price is reaching this area. But we don't have time to sit and wait because we don't know when the price is going to reach my entry area. Then what we do, we use the pending orders and we tell this thing to open orders. That means when price is reaching this area, it will then execute those positions with the risk we set, and you don't even have to sit there. Okay, so we are going to spend a whole day on this technical stuff. What I just want to show you is how much stress this is actually saving you from, right? Like it's so much easier to just place your order after setting the risk in percentage and not thinking about pips, value, how far is the stop, how much is this and how much is that. Makes sense to everybody? Basically, does it make sense? And the credit for this indicator we have to give to a student of ours here that actually spent time and had his techie guy do this for us. Okay. Yeah, it's really easy and it's really simple to use. So when the template we are using is ready, it will look like this. Now, when we look at our charts, we don't want to see all those entry points, all the all the time on our charts is like a little bit annoying. So we can do things, you know, we can just go and we can tell the indicator not to show all those levels. Yeah, it's what is showing us right now is that we have orders in the market, so that's why we have still the lines here. Also, what you can see here is the spread. Yeah, the spread here 1.3. The swap, the short. You can see everything really. Yeah, it's really easy. And when you have the template set, you have the charts on it. Okay, you have the Renkos running on the charts. You have your money management indicator there, and here on the left side it is showing you the open positions right now, nothing, the exposure of the whole account in profits, in percentage. So you always know, like let's say you have already 2-3 trades running, you know how much percentage you're exposing your account to. And that means, according to the rules, you know how many trades you can still take and how much you can risk not to expose the account to too much. Because it all really gets back to money management in trading. Doesn't matter if we use Renko bars or anything else. If the money management isn't right and you don't have a clue what you're doing, it's very hard to make long-term profits. And most of you probably already know that, correct? Sorry guys, you're asking questions here. Let me just check. No, I mean if you place an order, right? If you place a pending order and you close MT4, you still get filled. Has nothing to do with that. You can close it, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to run. At least as far as I know, all my charts are usually working fine in placing the trades. Does anybody have any other experience? I don't think so, right? Guys? Now, hey Dale, I'm getting to this one, yeah? Because as I said at the beginning, I try to keep it simple and make it even easier for you guys every time we do something new. So what I've done, I didn't change much really, but this time, our last Renko workshop course, what we did is combining our classic Spartan strategy with time frames. Right, and then switching back and forth to Renko bars to filter out some trades and combine it and make sure we really get you know, the setups we are looking for. And for many people, that back and forth was too much work and too confusing. And some people said, "Hey, great, works perfect for me." Some said, "It's killing me. It's too much. I have to go back and I have to go to Renkos and then I have to go to my normal charts. I just want it simple." So, and that was last year already. So since last year, I was looking for a way to make it easier and simple and test it out. Okay, and that's why I also had my son trading on it to see if he could learn it fast. Okay, and it's really simple to do without time frames, without going back and forth. If you stick to the rules, you can make great trades and have good long-term results. You just need to hang in there, stick to it, especially the money management, and use the template as I set it up here. Okay? So technically, as I said, we are going over all that in real time together. Is that okay so far, or was it too much, too complicated? It's only complicated for a day, guys. If you do it a couple of times, you'll see how much time this is saving you and how much work it is saving you, and no headaches and calculating anything anymore. Okay? And we are here to help you on this, so don't worry, you're not alone. Okay, so do we want to go over the strategy right now? Are we ready? It's very simple. Just the basic strategy. Yeah, the basic strategy and the first and easiest way to enter a trade using this. Yeah, we have multiple ways to enter, but I'll show you one simple way you can just digest overnight and think about it, and you see if it makes sense for you. Okay? Cool. We can do it on this pair. Why not? You chose it. I prepared others, but we can do it here. It doesn't really matter. What is important when we trade, whatever we trade, there's one thing we need, and I'm referring now, I'm talking to the older members. Doesn't matter what you put on your charts, you have to keep it simple. And really, there's only one thing you need when you trade that is really important before you even look at a trade, you know, or look to trade. What is this one thing you need to see on your chart before you consider touching it? The old guys, the old members that know their stuff already. Yes, support and resistance, that's correct. Trend direction is also great, it's also correct, but really what we need is, as you said here, Khaled, and Daniel says it, Marek, you know, we need the setup, yes, but we need volatility. We need actually movement on the chart. If the chart doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't matter what system you have, you won't make money. Okay, so price action, let the price go somewhere. We don't bother about the direction. We don't mind if it's going up or it's going down. What we want to see is volatility. So one important thing, most important thing that you're going to learn is how to find pairs that actually really moving and that are worth trading. And the easiest way to already start thinking about that, because you still have 2 weeks before we really start, is to get good at finding pairs. You can start practicing this. How do you do this? What you really want. I won't put anything. The only thing I want to do on this chart is get rid of the grid. And one thing we can do is put a period separated just to see the different days. Now, this is a 1 hourly chart. Okay, let me make this bigger. It's really tiny, and we put bar charts on it. So this is a classic bar chart. Correct, guys? This is a classic bar chart. We have all kind of time frames, and when we do our Spartan thing, we do what we call a top-down approach, going from the higher to the lower to look for setups. Now we don't need to do any of this right now. Okay, we don't need to do it at all when you want to trade the Renkos, but you want to check for volatile pair, something that moves. How do you figure that out? You need first of all to see one thing, and that's the direction. Where does the price go? Does it go up? Does it go down? If it's not going anywhere, we said that at the beginning, if it's ranging, like if it's looking like this, if you look at a chart and you know on a time frame like the 1 hourly chart, for instance, you see something like that, this does not qualify for us. What is this, guys, on a 1 hourly chart? And this should be your filter. It's a range, right? Typical simple range. So we don't want a chart like this. We want to see candles actually going somewhere, either up or down. If I look now at the last day, this is a 1 hourly chart, 1 candle per hour, this looks like this. So price actually did range in the morning, okay, then it moved down 60 pips, it ranged, I could see it here, but then after that it actually moved up. So we have candles closing higher than the previous ones, so then it's retracing, retracement is fine, and it's moving in a direction. So the whole day this thing had movement. It didn't stuck just in one place. It actually went somewhere. It was up, it went down. This is 60 pips down. This is movement. It went up, came back down, went back up. So we had movement on this chart. Can you all see that? Is it easy, especially for the new guys, to see this difference between this and this? This day also, especially this day before, you see 1 hourly candles moving higher and higher, and then by the end of the day they're ranged. So if you were looking here when it came out of this range, you saw one candle closing here and 1 hour later closing higher again, so you saw a direction. And from here to here it took a while. If you log in, let's say somewhere here, and you saw that at this point, what would you figure out? What do you see here? Again, yeah, exactly. It's ranging. It's not really qualifying unless the candles are huge, like 1 hourly candle up huge like this one. Okay, if you have a range with these candles, if the range is like 60 pips each hour up and down, okay, then we have volatility even in the range. But to make it simple for you right now, look for a chart that does not include this, but something like that, because this is giving you a direction. Now you won't see a chart where it's going up forever all day long. In between, especially over Asian session, for me, because I'm trading more London and US session, it could be that you have between the sessions, like between the US and the Asian session, here you have a range before it's going back up, or before the European session, the London session opens, maybe there's also a range, and afterwards it starts moving. So just for now, as an exercise for you to start practicing, identify charts using your 1 hourly. I wouldn't even do 4 hour. Use your 1 hourly chart, a classic 1 hourly chart, and filter out the ranges that you see. Okay, and look at the spots or the places or the hours where price is actually going somewhere, either up or down. And what you would do, you do it like I did it here. Sorry, let me do something. You can go back and say, okay, look, what is really pointing out? Which ranges are really pointing out? Those ones. Okay. Here it's not really a range. Next day it's becoming a range. This is separating the days, right, guys? Come on here. Okay, and then it starts moving. Big candles also showing volatility. Okay, it starts moving. And here's again a little range, because here it's still going down, then it's ranging. So you can use this as an exercise, doing it yourself, to filter out the places where the price is ranging, and the parts when the 1 hourly chart you see price moving actually in one or the other direction. This is your first and simple filter to filter out the ranges on your charts. And if you do this on, let's say, 10 pairs that look volatile, that actually have a direction, and draw those horizontal lines, you know, it's very easy to do after a couple of charts. And then you will know which chart is actually probably qualified for you to trade the next day or that day on your Renko charts. And here we are not really talking about any, you don't need any indicators, you don't need anything, you just need to see the difference between a range and a trend. Is that okay so far? Okay. So when you're good with this, or we have done this here together right now, okay? Then we can actually switch to the Renko charts and look how it looks here. So this is my Renko chart, and this is today. The settings I've used here is 6 pips per box, and that means you need to have 6 pips in one direction before you get a new box. What happened here? The price came down, came back up, came down, came back up. So this is today, correct? If you check back your 1 hourly chart today, what this is showing us here was that previous range. It's the one and the small one here before. Let me do it like this. You see this? You can see this here as well. But what happens here? It looks clean and clear. It's still moving up or down. Okay? And then at some point what it does, it moves higher and retrace it, it moves higher. So it's creating like what we call a 1, 2, 3 or ABC, correct? If we set our candles to 6 pips per box and price is moving from here to here, 12 pips, how many candles do we see, guys? Two, right? So now price is moving up 50 pips. So divided by 6, yeah? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or whatever. Yeah, I'm bad at math. So that doesn't really matter how long it takes, because this is not has nothing to do with time, right? So if there was a breakout and it took 10 seconds, you still see all those candles. Yeah, and if it takes an hour, you can actually look. This started at 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and it was up here at 5:50. So this took 1 hour. Yeah, on a 1 hourly candle, we go back to our 1 hourly chart. It was this candle. Look at the 50 pips. So you have one candle only on the time frame, showing you this one candle on Renko's. It's giving you direction. One break after another. Okay? Now if I go to a lower time frame, after, let's say, a 15-minute chart, does it look clear or does it look a little bit confusing? If you just look at this chart, would it be possible, is it easy for you to look for setup, even if you add indicators to it, just by looking at a chart like this? You have some, long candles, some short candles, spikes here and there. It is a little bit annoying. If not confusing, then at least annoying, right? So if we then go back to here, it's cleaning up. It's getting rid of the noise in between. Okay? Now you have your tools ready. What I have done here on this one, this was the day before, by the way. Okay, the day before, let's check again, back to my 1 hourly chart. Look at this. We had between 11 and for many hours a big range. Yeah. Now I go back to the Renko charts, and what do we see? My 11 is somewhere here. Yeah. That is not that confusing anymore. Yeah. And before, it is actually having a direction before it starts ranging. So it really filters out a lot of noise that would make you feel kind of helpless sometimes, not knowing what to do. Okay, so far, because when I start again, I say I never stop. So again, I'll make it quick. This is your filter. Find the ranges on the 1 hourly chart. This is a time frame, 1 hourly chart. If it's going somewhere and you have a direction, partly in between the day. There will be a range, and then usually there will be parts where it starts moving. And if you don't have a chart where price is moving, it's not qualifying, because you want direction. You want to trade in one direction to make some trades and profits, long-term profits, right? Okay, if you're done with this, you switch to your Renko charts, and you know now how they work. Okay, you know how those one work. And what I've done, I add 3 moving averages. Okay, exponential moving averages. One actually with 3 different settings. So this is the exponential moving average with 3 settings. On our classic Spartan charts, we have the 12 and the 36 we're using. Now here I have the 12, I have the 24 and the 36. The reason I use those 3 is because it's giving us a range of support and resistance. What does that mean? It means, to make it simple, as long as the price is moving over those EMAs and actually staying above, we are simply looking for long setups. It's really nothing fancy, okay? If price is moving below, and you see you get the crossovers, you know, they're crossing each other here. If price is below and stays below those, we are always looking for short setups, meaning here we are selling, here we are buying, okay? Now, when the price is fast, moving in one direction really fast, what happens often? It doesn't retrace. What is we all know what a retracement is, yes? Like price on our chart, doesn't matter what it is, forex, stocks, indices. If you have a chart, you will always see the price either trending or ranging, right? But sometimes it's trending, meaning it's moving fast in one direction, and when it's ranging, it's just doing this up and down. But sometimes it's trending fast and sometimes slow. It doesn't matter how fast it's trending, it has always to take a breather in between. Why? We don't care. We know why, but we don't care. Okay? So price is moving in one direction, it's breathing in, it has to breathe out. Sometimes it's breathing out nicely and it's retracing clearly, and you know, like this, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And sometimes it's just going fast, breathing out a little bit, breathing in, breathing out. Why do I say breathing? Because please, people, you have to remember, the markets are alive. Yeah, when we look at charts, we're looking at actual people that trade here, brokers that steal all the money from the traders, big institutions. Everybody tries to make money. So you are talking here. This thing is talking here to you, and you have to, you know, reply and talk back and listen to it. Yeah, this is alive. This whole thing is alive, right? So what does it do? It breathes in, it's breathing out. It's breathing in, it's breathing out. That's what the markets do. And sometimes they do it fast and sometimes they do it slow. So when I identify a trending and a volatile market, what I'll see on my chart is Renko bricks going in one direction without interruption, mostly. Meaning, I will not see 2 green, 2 red, 1 green, 2 green, 1 red. I'll usually see price going up in one direction. I get clean bricks, and then price is taken, the breather's breathing out, okay? It's then doing this, and then it's giving me another 2, but it's not really following through, and then it's going back down, and it's actually moving below. Okay, so we can see clearly when we have volatility also on the Renko charts, because a range on the Renko chart, if price only moves 12 pips up and down all the time, or 20 pips, even on the Renko you will see a little bit of a range. Okay, is that okay so far? Boxes in one direction means volatility. Market has to breathe in and has to breathe out. Okay, cool. So I want to keep it short, really. It's already a long time you're spending here with me, I know. But we have to say these things. Now when price is retracing back and it's getting close or touch one of my EMAs, okay, and after that it's moving back down, I know that the direction is still sexy. Yeah, still intact, still working. Dale, no, we are not talking about the classic Spartan template. We're trying to make it easier, okay? Now when price is coming back and it's getting back to here and then moving lower, for me that is an entry. Okay, so we have entry rules here. We get into a trade when the price moves in one direction and then retraces back and it's getting close to one of my EMAs. Sometimes it will get closer. If we then have a continuation, like we have a move lower down, we have an entry, a basic entry. Okay, now for every retracement, a steep retracement, like price is going down and then retracing only a little bit, we have different entry rules. Simple, but they're a little bit different. Okay? We also have different exit rules and different money management rules. It makes totally sense. Let me explain. If I take a short after I see a price down, move up. We're talking about the shorts only. And price is going below my EMAs and I have myself an entry. Okay? This is the area where in a trend price is moving below that after retracing, after moving up again. Yeah. So that's the first time price is coming back below my EMAs after a trend and a trend retracement. And because it's very close to all the EMAs after moving down, I would risk a little bit more. When price is already moving down 90 pips, 100 pips, and then retracing only a little bit, I don't know, nobody knows, how fast and far it will go. So I will have a different rule. Okay? For my money management, I will risk less when I get in here. Does that make sense? It's what they call early and late entries. Yeah. And it happens, we do this all the time. Now, when price is moving far, far, far away from original crossovers and price changing direction, okay, then we can still trade. We can still trade, we just be more careful. Like for instance, we have rules to get in. Now here we don't have any entries, but we would have an entry. I cannot explain everything right now. I'll just give you some basic hints so you can really start focusing on the real main direction. Okay? So if price breaks this and moves lower, we have an entry to sell again. But guess what? At that point, because it's very late, our risk is so small that if the trade doesn't work out, which in this case it doesn't, what will happen? We'll get stopped out. This was not a winning trade anymore. Okay? But the losses or the money we gave back to the market is much less than we gained before on the entries and the targets we're having. Okay, this is just an example for an early and late entry. Now, when price is crossing, here we have another example. We like to use the 1, 2, 3s, but not only. 1, 2, 3 is just one strategy. Here, one, price is going up. So, when price is going up, we're looking for longs, we said, right? But we need the price to retrace first to one of our EMAs. So here it's retracing to all of them. Great. And it's retracing nice and smoothly. Yeah, so it's moving up 70 points, it's coming down 40 points, great breather in and breather out. And then we actually have a setup because price is moving higher and we have a green candle. Okay, so we have ourselves a classic 1 2 3 setup and entry. But what happens? Our count protection order, our stop loss is right below the low. So at this point we get out of the long because the direction changed, and we would reverse a trade like this in a volatile market, meaning the long turns into a short, especially on small settings. Okay, this is another strategy to get in and take advantage of a potential bigger move. If we missed this or we didn't trade this, then we would go and check out our second choice with less risk. Okay, when price starts changing the direction, okay, and then we see something like this happening, we again have a trend change, a direction. At that point you don't know what will happen. So according to the rules, you have also entries here. If those trades don't work out, this trade didn't work out, okay, then you have to figure out what's going on. And if a trade doesn't work out, it's usually because market is changing behavior. Now we know that we wouldn't trade actually between sessions, also something we are going to cover in detail. So when we start seeing a range and our setups don't really work out anymore, okay, we'll stop trading. It doesn't matter that you lose a trade. What matters is that you figure out what is going on your chart. Okay, so when you see that a range is making even on the Renko bars, there are two things you can do. You either trade the range, which is a different strategy we're not going to do here today, we do it next time, or you wait for the price to get a direction again, to get out of that range, like here or here or here, to then add your entry rules, money management rules, where to place your account protection order, your stop, and your targets. Okay? Does that make sense so far? It's a lot, guys. You know, I don't expect anybody to understand the thing. I just want you to understand the logic of it. Okay? Okay? So the simple strategy, a simple basic strategy, is looking for a 1 to 3 ABC setup over the EMAs or below, with ideally a retracement back to it. So today, and we are not going to draw any trend lines here, I don't want to make it complicated, we want to make it simple. If I go to this, here you see price is crossing the EMAs. Okay, it's crossing down, it's crossing up, it's kind of a range happening here as well. And you figure that out. Let's say price is down here, you will see those things happen. You will see when those things happen. So when price is getting out of this range or the wedge or whatever we have drawn, then it has a direction again. What you can see, what happened here on GPJPY, after it came out of here, it moved up, clean bricks, you know, clean Renko bricks, coming back down to one of our 3 EMAs. It's actually touching the 12 and the 24. It's getting into our retracement zone. Okay, and then it's bouncing on it, it's spiking. Spiking is always good, and we have our green candle. So we have a basic entry with account protection order below the low, and ideally, depending where our support really lies, account protection order, and already targets to take profits out of there, right? So this is a basic 1 2 3 market breathing in, getting a direction, you know, really following direction, retracing back to one of my 3 EMAs, and then bouncing and moving up after it came out of a wedge or range. So the only thing we need to get good at and learn is finding the trends and the directions and the volatile pairs first, and then looking for setups when it's time to trade, and avoiding setups when the charts don't look like it. Okay? Then it's really simple. And the good thing is, in case you cannot sit there and wait. Now these are intraday and swing settings. That means it could be that if we entered this today, this is a classic entry signal here, and price moves up tomorrow, still we can retrace in between, but we have multiple targets because we don't only trade one position all the time, we can split 2 and 3 positions, right? This might go up tomorrow or even the day after tomorrow. Like if you have the swing trading running since here, okay, you could still be in that trade today. We have rules for this, right? But some people don't want to do this. They want to get in and they want to get out as soon as possible. So for that we have different settings I'm going to cover now as well. One sec, guys. I'll use now the Euro US dollar chart for this. I'll make it quick. This is a classic Spartan template with our Heikin-Ashi candles. I have my M6 candles that look like that. Yeah, so this again is 1 day. We had a volatile up, volatile move down. We had a range in between, but we had the directions right. So for instance, we have an entry. We had an entry 2 days ago. Trading M6 candles according to our rules. Okay, we had an entry and a kind of small account protection or about 30 points. Because price is still below here, we would have taken incremental profits, but with remaining positions, this would be still in with about 100 points today. Okay, price is still below here. You get more chances to just get in here following the simple rules. The same you had on the upside, multiple ways to get in, just trading ABCs or 1 to 3s with retracements back to our nice filter. And you have them a lot actually, yeah, during the last days. And if you check a classic chart, a classic Euro US dollar chart on the lower time frames, it doesn't look that fancy. Like they look sometimes really weird and rangy, and like with Heikin-Ashi candles they always look better. But if you just take a classic chart, it looks like this a little bit. Okay, you still find the direction with the EMAs, but it doesn't look as clear as this one when it comes to entries and setups. Okay, now for scalping and day trading we have different settings, and depending on what pairs we choose, they don't always look great. Yeah, you really have to filter out the right settings. Like the basic settings for scalping could be M3 or M4 settings. So some pairs look better on M3, some on M2, some on M4, really depending on the behavior of the pair. So a pair that looks like this, I don't touch on Renko charts. I don't touch it anywhere anyway, but not even on Renko charts. We wouldn't do it. But when it's coming out of a range, we'll consider getting in. Okay? You see, the M3 looks confusing compared to M6 those days. It's not always like that. So we always combine the day trading and scalping settings to find the best looking setups so we don't get caught in a range. The trick is to be able to switch back and forth and check the nice setups. And this was this is one of those examples where you just really see what makes sense and what doesn't on the chart. Okay? Now this is the basic strategy, core strategy, that we of course will discuss in detail on really volatile pairs. And after me explaining it, especially on, I think we start on Sunday, right? We'll need another day to get over everything, to set everybody up and make sure the Renkos work fine on your charts. Then we start actually trading together. Okay? One great feature here, one great thing you're going to get is this beautiful alert for emails. So what it does, you can change the settings. Like if we want to touch on a volatile market on a 12 EMA, we click on it, and what this now does, okay, when price is retracing back and it's touching this, like it actually waits for a setup. It doesn't just send you an alert when it's touching it. Price is actually to move. It has to move in one direction. It has to retrace back and then hit one of those EMAs, and only then you would get an alert. So you can check back on your charts and see if you have a signal soon that you can trade, so you don't have to sit here all day long. Okay, and this is easy to, even I can do it. I'm really bad at this technical stuff. That is easy just to do when you go to your options. You can get notifications. You would enable that, and when you download MetaTrader4 on your cell phone, on your smartphone, there's one unique code you get. You just put the code in there, click on OK, and then you will get those alerts every time they appear. Again, something we're going to do together. Okay? What it means now, when you get good at the strategies and where to get in and where to get out, one strategy is this, another one is the reversal, another one is a breakout. Like we have, let's say, 3 strategies easy to do after identifying the volatile pairs. Okay? Now in combination with money management, with alerts, and almost trading automatically because you don't have to type anything anymore, it makes it really, really easy. The only thing really left is for you to learn the strategy. Okay? Makes sense so far? Now, while we are trading, we will also discuss the mental part, the tricks. You know, like I explained in the beginning, how to think, how to stay positive, how to try to be to keep your strength and your confidence. You know, and it's very easy to do when you have the money management tools ready on the chart. When you don't have to type, when you just, you know, trade and focus on the good setups on the charts. Right, guys? So I won't go further. It's really enough for today. It's enough for you to understand what this is about. Okay? Now, I will switch over to Jeff. And Jeff will give his part of the story, because he will also support you with stuff during our with information during our sessions here. So what I'll have to do, let me just see if I can do that. Jeff, where are you? Let me find you here. There we go. I'm making you presenter now, and I stop sharing my screen, so you should be able to do it. Just say something to make sure we hear you.
Everybody hear me loud and clear?
Oh, yes. Can you also
Okay,
hear
good
me?
stuff. Yep, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's a
what I'm going to do is, Nick's been on here almost 2 hours. I know it's getting late for a lot of you, so I'm going to try to uh, just share a few little key things for you. I'm going to try to get it done within 15 minutes. Now, just before I jump in, once again, I want to take a poll. How many of you who are on here have been trading less than 6 months? If you could just type it in real quick, if you've been trading less than 6 months. Okay, and for those of you who have been trading over 6 months, are you still like kind of struggling, trying to figure out how to get things to fit into place, and wondering if you could make this thing work? Okay, yeah, it's universal, and it's like it's something that we all go through, and I've been, for those of you who don't know me, I don't have time to go through my whole kind of long story how I got here, but I've been trading well over 20 years ago, and it seems like just yesterday I found my first kind of a brochure on trading, and it could make told me it could make me rich, but I found out that there was a lot more to it. And I remember a time when I didn't know what a chart was, I didn't know what a moving average was. Everything was like Greek to me. Okay, I could not figure out anything, and I bought many programs like you've done. A lot of them were crap. I just couldn't make them work. I lost a lot of money. Sometimes my account would run up for a bit, then I'd give it all back. So I had all the struggles that many of you are going through. So the good thing is that if you do stick with it, the rewards can you can make this work. So I just want to pull up a chart a second here. So Nick, to make this to get it short, what do I have to do here?
How did you do it before? I don't remember.
I think you have to hit a button there to allow me to share.
I did already. I think I did already. Did I not?
No, because I see. Okay, there we go. Okay,
Ah, okay, sorry.
let's do something. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is that when you learn trading, once you go through the hard part and you master the skills, then you can apply it to anything. And I just want to give you like kind of a real demonstration of what is possible. Let me just pull up a chart here. Okay, this, let me see here. Wait a minute. What I'm going to do is, like I said, this isn't with Renko per se, okay, but we're going to do that. When you kind of get the skills down, you can apply your knowledge to anything. This is actually one of my stock trading accounts. Let me just log in here. This is today's this is not a demo account. This is actually one of my retirement accounts. So just to make a long story short, this account I've had open for 5 years, and for the first 4 years I deposited $6,000 each year. Okay, it was my contribution to that account. So you can see it's grown substantially. So this is when it gets fun, and the only reason I want to point this out is because when I started trading over 20 years ago, and I was totally confused, I couldn't possibly see myself making money trading. I just didn't know, I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. It cost my divorce, kind of my pursuit of trying to make this thing work. Okay, so I went through all kinds of hurdles, but this is coming out on the other end, so it shows you that you can start to make money at it. Now, let me just quickly do this for you. I'm going to log out of this account, and I'm going to another stock account. Those numbers are average on this account, though. So I'm going to go to this one here. Okay, this is another account I have. This is actually not an IRA account. This is the account I trade that I can pull money out of when I need it. This account was started like 2.5, 3 years ago with about $38,000. Okay, so it shows you once again, if you just kind of you stick with it and you put in your time and hard work, you can make money. Now, of course, not every day is up like this, but if you look where I started like 3 years ago from 38,000 up to 121,000, it's pretty cool stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go out of there.
Hey Jeff, I like that you're showing off good stuff.
Yeah. Well, it is. I wanted to show it because,
yeah, it's
and
good.
like I said, it's like, yeah, when you start out, you don't think you can ever do it.
No.
I never thought I would be to the point where I was. So
yeah, it's true.
You can't find a way. I can't tell you how many days I felt like I literally wanted to cry. It's just like it was so frustrating, and I wish I could say I was like a genius and I figured this out like after 6 months. It took me like 8 years to really, really get good at this. So maybe I'm just a slow learner or stupid, but it goes to show you, even if you're stupid like me, if you stick with it, you can make it work in the long run. So, yeah. So what I want to do here is, this is just a short little slideshow here, and I'm going to start this from the beginning. Okay, now you can see the headline here. It says the top 10 reasons to avoid trading. Now, you might think that I've lost my mind. Why would I tell you 10 reasons to avoid trading when a part of our job is to teach you how to make money trading? Okay, well, the reason is that when you're trading, okay, if you don't have your mental focus like 100% dialed in, you're going to have trouble making money consistently. So despite your best intentions, you're always going to you're just going to struggle. You're never going to get things together. So what I want to do is point these kind of obstacles out to you so that you can remove them, and that way you can make money trading. And here's the deal. Nick and I, we want nothing more than to help you guys make a bucket load of money, okay? If we can't help you do that, then you're not going to be happy, and we're not going to be happy as well. But the thing is, no matter how good the system is we share with you, until you get rid of these roadblocks, it's going to be very tough, okay? So I'm going to move this along really quick. I could spend an hour on each one, but I'm going to try to get it down to 10 minutes. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Hang on 1 second, guys. I don't know where that came from. That's weird. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, guys, having a little bit of technical difficulties here. I'm a bit technically challenged here. Okay. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. That's weird. Hang on. Sorry, guys. That's not me talking. I don't know why a recording's coming on. Let me just back up here. Sorry a minute. year I'd make 80 pips, and then you do the math. You say, wow, 80 pips times on a full lot would be about $800. It seems so easy, but the reality is once you kind of dig deeper into it, you realize it's not quite as simple as you thought. So unless you're prepared to really dedicate yourself for a couple of years, then you're going to be wasting your time. Now, you got to keep this in mind and understand, we can teach you how to use our strategies within an hour, okay? That's kind of the easy part, but the real work is going to come where you put in your time, all right? You got to sit in front of the computer, spend a lot of time watching the markets and placing trades. There's no substitute for doing, all right? So once you've spent hundreds of hours practicing and trading, that's where you're going to get real mastery. And keep in mind that they've done studies. They know that it takes about 10,000 hours to become an absolute master at something. So don't worry if you've got to put, a few hundred hours to start getting the hang of this, all right? And remember, anything worthwhile takes time. You didn't show up at college your first day and expect to be given a diploma a month later. And the same thing goes with trading. Once again, you got to put in your time and you got to pay your dues. But as I already pointed out with my own story, if you do have patience and you just keep persevering, you can get good at this, right? No matter how bad you are, or how bad you think you are, or no matter what your circumstances are, you can make this work. Okay, another big reason not to trade is if you have unrealistic expectations. In other words, turning 500 into 10,000 in a few months, or maybe making $100 a day with a $500 account. Think about that. That's about a 20% return a day, and the best money managers in the world maybe make 35% a year. So it's definitely a bit unrealistic to think you're going to make 20% a day. Now keep in mind, I know people, okay, that can do that kind of stuff, but they have to get very aggressive. And it's like Nick talked about before, he risks more than he normally would have. So it's possible, but you've got to be willing to handle a lot of risk, and you've got to be really damn good, okay? You've got to be really on top of your game to get those kind of crazy return. But the bottom line is you've got to be realistic. And so what you want to do is set small, achievable goals. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to make 10 pips a day for 14 days, and then I'll shoot for 15 pips a day. And then you just keep kind of bumping it up. Over time, it becomes very easy. You can also do something like tell yourself, I'll be profitable for an entire month trading one mini lot, and the next month I'm going to shoot to trade 2 mini lots. Or maybe like an achievable goal, well, first to get really good average, 0.5% a day trading. And then like a month later, you see if you can bump it up fractionally, okay? And as a motivational coach, Anthony Robbins, he said there are no unrealistic goals, just unrealistic time frames. And I wholeheartedly, say that is so spot on. Okay, so once again, you can accomplish anything, but you've got to have realistic time frame. Okay, this one you might have heard, all right, in any trading book, but you don't want to trade if you're struggling to pay your rent or put food on the table. And it's what's called trading with scared money. And what that basically means is that, say you've got $2,000 in your account, and you don't know how you're going to pay your rent this month or maybe feed your kids. Well, you're so scared of losing money that you start making all kinds of mistakes. Okay, it completely clouds your judgment. You always seem to be one step behind the market, making the wrong decisions. So you never, ever want to trade if you're going to trade with scared money. So the solution to this is don't trade. Okay, you're probably going to lose all your money. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So tell yourself that you're going to turn off the computer, go get a second job or whatever it takes, get together a few $1,000s to have an account. And you want to set aside amount of money that if you lose it, you can still sleep at night like a baby, all right? If you're going to be worried sick because you're going to lose a couple $1,000s that you saved up, you're still trading with scared money. And trading with scared money, it's never going to work out for you. I wish there was another way, but there isn't. Okay, another important thing is don't trade if you think there's going to be like a robot or some fancy EA that you can install on your computer, buy for $67, and it's just going to spit out money all day long, right? It doesn't exist. I bought a gazillion of those. Some of them work very short term, but the bottom line is it takes way more than just putting on a piece of software like that. And in fact, the only person that's going to get rich is the guy that developed the software and sold 20,000 copies, and that does happen because everybody wants to spend just a tiny bit of money and do no work to make the big payouts. So once again, this is about being realistic. And just on this point, there's no get rich quick in trading, but you can certainly get, you can get poor very fast, blow out your account, and you kind of fall into these fallacies about these automated robots and so forth. Once again, you have to have realistic expectations, even more so when you're newer to trading. Okay, guys, this one is super big. You don't want to get into trading if you don't like losing money, okay? Because what happens is if you don't like losing money, what you're going to do is you're going to end up staying in the demo and studying mode. In other words, you're going to keep buying programs, studying, and you'll never take a real trade. And the reason is because you're hoping that you can find the kind of the secret sauce so that you can eliminate the losses, which will overcome your fear of losing money. Another thing that happens if you're afraid to take losses is maybe you will take some trades, but the minute you have a few losses, you're gonna buy another course and another course, thinking that you're gonna completely figure this all out. Okay. And then finally, what's going to happen is if you don't like taking losses, you're never going to be able to trade your system correctly because you're going to be so fearful that you're not going to think clearly, and you're always going to second guess yourself. And what odds are what's going to happen is you're going to exit your trades prematurely, which means that instead of letting your profits run, you bail out with only 10 pip profits or something like that. Not the way to make money. Okay. You don't want to trade if you think trading can be boiled down to mathematical science. And listen, there's a lot of smart people on here, and we're very analytical or logical thinking, and we think that trading can be boiled down to almost a science. But the reality is trading, as Nick already pointed out, is driven by emotions like fear and greed. Okay, it's not based on logic, so you can never boil it down to a nice a succinct formula. All right, so you need to kind of get over this mentality that you can put into the nice little package. And so once again, you have to understand that it doesn't matter how many systems you buy, you will never be able to decipher every last turn in the market. I know I've tried. Okay, it just doesn't happen. And just understanding that can kind of get rid of so much stress for you. Okay, this kind of ties in with thinking you can get things in, like let math conquer the markets. Okay, intelligence has very little to do with trading. Okay, and I've personally coached many people, like very, very like high intellects, very they've had multiple degrees and stuff like that. Smart people, great people. But somehow they thought that would translate for them to easily make money in the markets. But the reality is they got their butts kicked, all right? All their smarts in other areas didn't help. Okay, so you need to remember that intelligence alone, it can't beat an irrational, emotion-driven market. And so really, the solution is to beat the market. You just need a simple strategy that gives you a mathematical edge. Okay, and all you have to do is apply that over and over again, and that's something we will share with you in the upcoming workshop. And as Nick said, the classic example of it is you think about his son. Okay, he's a very smart kid, but he doesn't know anything about trading. So Nick just told him, do this, don't do that. Orpheus didn't have to think about anything. All right, so and it worked out great, and that's the kind of the state we want to get you to. In other words, get rid of all the bad habits, the overthinking, and the overanalysis. Another thing is, don't think that having a lot of expensive technology is the answer. I've known people that have gone out and bought like $3, $4, $5,000 computers. They've spent thousands, like they have like 6, 8, 10 monitors, and guess what? They still lost money. It didn't give them the edge. The only thing you do need is a fast internet connection and a decent computer these days. And back when I started trading in 1990, there were no personal computers. There was almost no software available, and the success rate for trading was still under 10%. So you flash forward to here we are, like 2017. There's now hundreds of trading software, thousands of technical indicators, paid and free. And despite all these goodies that we can get our hands on, most traders, in fact, 95% still lose money on this technology. So don't think that you can kind of buying the latest software or anything like that's going to make a difference. And this gets back to a little bit what I said about losing money. But don't trade if you don't like to take risk, and that's okay. All right. Sometimes you have to realize what you're good at and what you aren't good at. And if you don't like to take risks in life, then sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe trading's not for me. But let me ask you a question. If I said to you, would you like to make $1,000 every day in trading? I know every one of you would jump up and raise your hand. Okay. But many people, when they realize, okay, well, maybe I have to risk $250 on a trade to make that $1,000, all of a sudden aren't so happy to do it. Okay, because they get more fearful about losing the $250 than to make the 1,000. But as the old cliche goes, no risk, no reward. Okay, and I got to say it. Trading takes a big set of balls. Okay, you really have to get comfortable with taking risk. There's no way around it. It's impossible. Okay, once again, it doesn't matter how much you study, how many programs you buy. You have to kind of embrace risk to make money in this game. Okay, to wrap it up, reason number 10, you don't want to trade because it seems like a means to an end. All right. As I mentioned, even though trading can be quite simple on the one hand to get the basic techniques, there is a fairly steep learning curve to truly master it. Okay, so Nick talked a little bit before about having a passion for trading. You really have to have a passion for trading to justify all the effort that you're going to put into it, because let's face it, you're going to be confused a lot, you're going to lose money, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to kind of question why you're doing this. But the thing is, if you have a passion for what you're doing, it's going to see you through. And my job and Nick's job is to kind of feed your passion and give you the tools that you need so that you can get what you want in life, which is pips to help you make money and live a much better quality of life. So let me just exit here. And let me go back here a second.
Great stuff.
Okay, Nick, I turned off the screen sharing there. I don't know if you have control over it again.
I don't know. I have to check actually. No idea. Let me see what I have. Not yet. You must probably do something else. Let me try. Okay. I think I got it. Yeah. So are you done, Jeff? It's great, by the way.
I know we're getting on like 2.5 hours, so like I could talk hours to justify a lot of this stuff or do it justice. But I just wanted to really give a few things that you can all think about, because once again, if you not aware of these obstacles in your path, it can be very hard, no matter how good the strategies we give you are, to actually kind of make them bear fruit.
Yeah, true.
Okay, Nick, I'm going to turn my mic off and hand it back over to you.
Okay. I think can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jeff, for that. Again, was really great. That's really how things are. The thing is, we did, like Jeff didn't say that to discourage anybody from trading. It's just that like myself and Jeff as well, we didn't have people, anybody to really help us with the trading part, except of mentally. I had a really good mentor, really good one. But trading wise, I personally and Jeff also had to learn the hard way. Like there was nobody that would just say, you know what, let's sit together, let's do this, let's do that, do mistakes, learn from the mistakes, get better, money management, you have to this and that. And so we can save ourselves a lot of time and money, and the truth is, if you haven't lost at least a little bit of money, it's difficult to feel the real trading part. It's difficult to really enjoy the profits. Like when I've lost a lot of money, and I had to really take a break for almost a month and then start with a little bit of money that I earned and a little bit put aside, and then I had to trade with only 500 euros back then. It seemed like nothing, but there was nothing else to do. So only one way I could get back on track is to simply really learn how things work, understand the charts, get in with good money management to slowly grow the account and actually earn the right to make the money from trading. Okay, and really when I first made I grow the account back then from 500 to 38,000. I say 38 because at that point I took half of the money out. It was the first time I took money out of the account. And when I did that, the feeling I had at that point, it took about 6 months, I think. That feeling never really came back. It was so powerful, so full of passion, and I just knew I could do it. I knew it was a point where no matter what, I could do it again and again and again. And it wasn't about the amount I made. It was really, really just withdrawing this amount of money and seeing it on my account was so powerful. Right now, if I made, let's say, I get a new good client and I don't know, the guy is 100 million and I make him 10% or 20% or something, or I get a 1 million commission or something like that. It would not be, I wouldn't feel as happy as back then when I did my first withdrawal. Because it's not the number, it's not just the money you make, it's all this gratification, like that you have made it. That's the good part. And this will unfortunately never be that great again. I know. Okay? It is always great and we are always happy when we make money and we withdraw, and it's just part of it, and it's always happiness and everything, but never as good as the first time. So 2 ways to succeed in trading. You do it yourself. It takes longer for sure, and you have to really have a strong stomach, and you have to sometimes, even if you don't like it, with the head through the wall, and learn and understand, or somebody helps you. It's up to you. Both ways work. Okay, both ways work. And I'm talking now especially to the new guys that thought that would be like something that they can learn like over the weekend, which they can. The strategy you can, and you can also immediately start making money of it. You can. We do it together on Monday. If we have a little bit volatility and the market is helping us, you will be able to adjust really adopt the strategy, practice, and start making pips. You will. But as time is passing, you might stop, as I explained at the beginning, follow your own rules or risk too much, and you will maybe do some funny mistakes, and you will pay for those mistakes immediately. That's the great thing about the market. It's your boss. It doesn't tell you what to do or when to do, but when you do something funny, you pay for it. Okay, so listen to the mistakes, learn from the mistakes. I know we can help you with that because we have taught, I don't know, thousands of people over the years. Some, more private, some in small private coaches, some in big members groups and whatever, and for some people just it takes a little bit longer when they take the system and try to do it themselves. But we cannot really guarantee it for everybody. We cannot say, okay, you sit next to me and I'm sure you will be a great trader. I can feel if somebody is good at it, but you cannot guarantee it, because the second we turn around, you will be at some point alone. Okay, and then you have to prove to yourself that you still follow the rules. And there are tricks to do that. And in our upcoming workshop, it is when is it, Jeff? When is it? In March? I will give you the tricks. I will show you some tricks that will help you stick to the rules and try to really focus. And when something happens, you do a mistake, that you can get back on track without getting lost all over the place. Okay, March 5 to March 9. Okay, great, guys. So again, I'll make it fast. It's over. We are done for today. Would be great if you want to join us in the upcoming workshop. Some of you are already signed up. Who signed up already? I saw like many names that I saw also like days ago. I think people signed up already. You get your details before we start. Okay, great, guys. Okay, perfect. Where you find it? Some people asked me, sent me a private message here. Let me pull it up on my. Let me just give me 1 second to pull it up on our website here. There we go. So you go to the Spartan website, right? The link, that's the link actually. I should be able to copy and paste it and send it to you here. Yes, we'll send out the copy of the recording, and below the copy there's also the link to sign up for the 5-day thing, right, guys? Here you see me. Sexy picture on my charts. That was the introduction. And below you will see also all the highlights, all the stuff we were talking about. Everything is here. You get your PDF guide for the entries and exit rules, so you don't have to remember the stuff. Okay, everything we said today, we discussed, you can read again here, just to as a reminder. Of course, you will also watch the video. You can watch the video again, almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours. And below here you get your bonuses, which is the risk indicator. The value of this is $200, and we're going to sell this soon as well, when it's the updated version, which you will also get, of course. You will get 2 more systems that are easy to learn and everything. And of course you get the Renko charting indicator, which it says value $30. I don't know what it is. So if you put that all together plus the training, it would be $797, or almost $800. Okay. Now you can get it for $247 for about 2 days, and then the price is where's the price going, Jeff? What did we calculate? Was it 300 or something? Is Jeff still here? So yeah, 297 or something. So you can save immediately $50. You have 2 days for sure, and you will see that will change immediately. Okay. So, but do me a favor, if you haven't, if you logged in late, or you saw only half of the presentation and everything, watch the video later on. We'll send the recordings to you, and hopefully see you in our live event. Again, it's 2 days of learning, okay, with all with you, of course, asking questions, so Q&A. And afterwards, we are going to apply those strategies while we are learning on our charts and while we're waiting for setups and trade those live on our charts. We are also discussing the tricks and tips that you can use to avoid all the huge, let's say, mistakes we're doing, to keep it really small, to make sure you kind of get your long-term results with less blood or with less stress, right, than we had when we started doing this. Okay? So yeah, guys, that's it. I think we said it all. If you still have questions, you want to know something, you just send us emails, right, guys? Send us emails, info@spartantraderfx.com. Again, you get the 5 days, you get the indicator, the money management indicator, right? Where is it? It's somewhere here. That is really like most important, right? To calculate the risk, splitting the positions, taking the trades without typing anything on your chart and in the boxes when it says, you know, trading, new order and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to do any of those things. You also get your alert. It will send you either emails or it will give a noise on MetaTrader, or will send you push notifications to your cell phone. Okay, it's all there. Okay, so guys, that's it. It was really great to have you all here. It was very exciting. Hope to see you all there. If there is anything else, again, just send us an email. And thank you very much for being here. Bonnie says, awesome, thank you. See you in the event. Okay, perfect. Okay, so if you can't be there live, guys, it's also fine. We record all the sessions. All the sessions are recorded, okay? Everything is recorded. So even if you miss out, you can still log in later on and just download the recorded sessions. Okay, has been great. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, we'll show you everything, how to load the indicator, how to use it when the market's open. We do it together. So no way you're not going to be able to do it. You know, it will be easy. Okay, thanks again for being here. I will close now, so we finish now, so I can render the whole thing and upload it today, so you can have it in a couple of hours. Okay? Bitteschön. Thank you very much. See you guys. Bye.